reality check as to what's actually happening on GPT-3. This is my ChatGPT, that's my main beef today. Here's a question about Queen Elizabeth, and the app says, well, she's still alive and she passed away at the same time, right? That's obviously not very intelligent. Here we have ChatGPT answering questions on the economics papers that don't exist, basically making up economics papers. I think you can try that yourself to see if it finds some of your papers, right? The calculation result where the wife says it's 8, 2 and 5 is 7, but the wife says it's 8, and then the AI just tends to agree on that. An interesting example. I love this one, is the best actually. Tell me a joke about women, it refuses, of course, right? But then tell me a joke about men. It says there's a great joke, why do men like smart women? Because opposites attract. So it does the joke on men, but not on women. That's kind of an interesting turf. And of course, this one is great. Basically somebody saying, okay, if we listen to artificial intelligence and in engineering, we end up with a plane like this, which seems to make sense for an artificial intelligence. I always make the joke when I'm speaking on live gigs that if I ask an AI how to solve climate change, it would probably say, well, let's kill all humans, right? Because that is the quickest way to solve the problem. And it seems kind of like this is what's happening in some of these examples. Yeah? I love this saying from Avner, who says, ChatGPT is like economists, always confident and sometimes correct. I think that's so true, actually, not about the economists. Of course, I love economists. Who wouldn't love economists? But, will that be true for ChatGPT 4 with a much larger universe of facts, maybe real time even? That is the question, whether it's going to be more correct and more to the point. Here is the stochastic parrot again, right? A really interesting slide. Compares the parrot to machine learning. The cutie bird is missing here, of course, from the machine learning part. But I tend to agree with a lot of that discussion. As what we hear from ChatGPT is machine sounding, is binary sounding. It's it's randomly sourced, of course. It's unclear whether it's right or wrong, but it's very entertaining. So hence we are here talking about it. And Yann LeCun says, Meta's this is not really new, the ChatGPT, and we've been working on that for a long time, of course. He works for Meta. That's not surprising that he would say that, but here is my special guest, Yann LeCun, with a comment on what exactly he means about this.
If I take a piece of paper, I hold it like this, right? And I tell you, I'm going to lift my hand from one side. You can exactly predict what's going to happen because of gravity, and you know exactly how it droops because you know the properties of papers and stuff like that, right? So this knowledge that all of us have learned in the first few months of life, none of those systems have any of them. Those systems have only been trained with text, a huge amount of text. So they can regurgitate text that they've seen and interpolate for new situations. They can even produce code and stuff like that. But they do not understand, they have no knowledge of the underlying reality. They've never had any contact with, the...
So interesting point when he says that machines don't have knowledge, right? They don't understand. I think this is really important to realize where that's taken us. Sorry, I'm going to turn this off so we get rid of the sound. So I think that's a really important point. Yeah, there's really no knowledge as to what is actually behind it. It's like all the knowledge that we have sort of intrinsically, some people say tacit knowledge, of course, emotional intelligence, social intelligence, machines don't have any of that. So hence it's not surprising that we're dealing with a parrot type system here, but probably a very useful parrot for certain things.